Jai Hind, everyone. I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and it's my proud privilege and honor to be in conversation with somebody who has served in Northeast. In fact, the battalion that he was serving with in Mizoram, particularly, which is much in the news right now because of various reasons, about the Manipur crisis and how how people from both sides, from all over. I mean, how people, it's devastating. In fact, it's heartbreaking. And who understands, particularly, I would say, Mizoram, the battalion did so well, and after that, they came to Rashtrapati Bhavan, to the president's house. They done extremely well. So, of course, Major Dr. Rajan Kochar, he needs no introduction at all. You all have seen him on television panels and on all TV channels and on various geopolitical and strategic affairs. He's been speaking very, very widely. First, before that, let me go ahead and welcome, sir. Sir, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for taking your time, sir.
Jai Hind, Ali, it was a pleasure and honor to be on the show today.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, first, we've heard you so much on Manipur on television. Let's hear about, people haven't heard about Mizoram. So, of course, you have very fond memories of Mizoram. So, right now, what is the situation? I mean, as per you, what do you analyze? What's happening, sir? Why, and what is happening in Mizoram exactly, sir?
Ali, I was in Mizoram a long time back in 1982. That was straight after my commissioning. I was to do infantry attachment with 5 Gadwal rifles. And 5 Gadwal rifles battalion headquarters was at Bungtalang. And the entire Myanmar border we were looking after. And at that time, insurgency was at its peak. And MNF was the party or the militant group which had to be neutralized, and they were causing a lot of havoc in that state. So it was a state where the battalion was entrusted with the responsibility of tackling insurgency. So it was a great learning for me being a second lieutenant. If you remember, in those days, we were actually commissioned as second lieutenants. And it was my first exposure, and I had also the privilege to wear the uniform of the 5 Gadwal rifles because that was a tradition. I would also be a part of the troops. The troops would also understand me better if we wore the same uniform in spite of being from the Army Ordnance Corps. So that was, and we, I was given responsibility of moving all over the jungles in Mizoram, and it was quite a tough terrain, I would say, and with leeches and all those things attacking you most of the time while you were doing your patrolling. And I was most of the time in my entire attachment period, I was on long range patrolling, LRP as they call it. It used to last for a duration of 10 days. And we had two encounters during my time, but unfortunately, the militants had escaped in both those encounters. So my commanding officer used to tell me that your citation is in my drawer. The moment you kill or capture a militant, it will be sent to the higher headquarters. So that used to be the spirit in those days. And thereafter, there was a peace accord, and MNF joined the mainstream. And the leader of the MNF also became the chief minister of the state. And since then, Mizoram has been a very peaceful state. I would say till today also, Mizoram does not have that kind of inter dynamics of ethnicity what Manipur has. And secondly, is the chief minister or the political establishment there is more mature. I would say that they have been able to carry out a lot of development activities in the state, and the state has by and large been quite peaceful in spite of uh, the neighbor actually burning. As a matter of fact, the chief minister of Mizoram has also made a statement, or he has ensured the safety of the Kuki community and other ethnic communities which have a linkage to Manipur, to ensure that nothing happens to them in his state. So I would say that as of now, I do not foresee any major disturbance in Mizoram.
So the orders, what are the orders? Is it that the chief minister asked the Maitis to vacate Mizoram? Is that what we are hearing? Is that what you have heard as well, sir?
No, the chief minister is not ordered, actually ordered. There is a fear. There has
Okay,
been a threat by the cookies group to target them in Mizoram.
okay.
So there is a fear in the Mighty community, and they are planning to migrate in small groups, I am given to understand. And though the chief minister assured their safety, but in such circumstances, nobody can assure any safety, because in far flung villages, it is the villagers themselves who have to look after each other, and their security has to be looked after each other. Security forces cannot reach every nook and corner of the state. And if you see the way Mizoram is, it is also a hill state like Manipur, and there is a valley portion and there is a hilly portion, and so the valley portion is more developed. The capital is Aizawl, and it's fairly well developed. And the hill areas are, how they are. They have their own problems in those areas, and there is poverty there, and a lot of issues are there of governance and all that. But as of now, I don't see this migration taking place in a big way. We'll have to wait and watch, Major Shah.
True, sir. True, sir. Sir, thank you so much for clarifying this. In fact, because there was a lot of fake news, rumors, and a lot of, because this whole business of fake news and rumors, and this is something, it needs to be curbed. There has to be a proper check on it. So there were all kind of stories coming up, because there was a protest march in Mizoram where someone took a picture and they said that the chief minister was there not as a chief minister, as a common citizen, was there in the, I don't know the facts of it, but this thing, you have, that's why I asked you this question and you put it beautifully, sir. I mean, इससे बेहतर और कौन क्या समझा सकता था? So, sir, now the fact is there was always a fear of it spilling from Manipur to other states. It's already happening. Say in Mizoram, the Maitis are under threat, because the Maitis would be on minority in Mizoram, and Mizoram has got again the same ethnic cultures, the same cookie cultures,
Absolutely.
sir. So, sir, what do you estimate it as? How could peace? Because the first need of the hour is peace. Because as you know, the northeast, it can get very, very bad. How, according to you, can peace be restored in Manipur, sir?
See, I firmly believe that the people of Manipur have have to decide whether they want peace or they want war. And for them to decide after the trust has been broken between the communities, the best way forward is to have a neutral administration in place. Because unless you have a neutral administration in place, the peace cannot be restored. Let me tell you that army can, to an extent, be there to reduce the situation of law and order, but it cannot eliminate it until the people themselves decide to eliminate it. So, because an army can only give you a short term solution, we are looking at a long term solution. We are looking at Manipur as a progressive state, contributing to the might of the nation. And unfortunately, northeastern states have been neglected for long, and very few people in the center understand them, understand the psychology of the Northeast, how they think, how they behave. See, unless you have been part of them, unless you have stayed with them, unless you understand them, you will not be able to assimilate the thought and the thinking of the people of Northeast. So, if this is clear to the government, then the government has to take an immediate sort of a measure. The first measure is to restore the law and order, and for that, Army Commander Special Power Act has to be enforced throughout the state. You would be aware in some areas of Manipur it has been withdrawn, and especially in Methi dominated areas. So it is seen as a discrimination. So this first step is to be like, you please enforce it. Let the army be given the powers to curb. A unified command and control structure has only been ordered only 2 days back. What the government was doing all this while. So it should have been done much earlier. But okay, better late than never, I would say. And if this structure is in place now, the next step is to bring in the Army Commander Special Power Act, and then think of a change in governance.
So
The BJP,
the Armed Forces Special Power Act, sir, that will. Do you think
yeah,
it can bring about a lot of change, sir, when Armed Forces Special Power Act is re-established there in the valley?
yeah, Armed Forces Special Power Act will be able to bring a change, because you don't need to carry a magistrate on your shoulder every time. There are more than 134 districts in Manipur. So, do you have 134 magistrates available? You don't have. So, let's be realistic about the whole situation, and let's have the ASPA coming in, and then we have to look for a change in governance to bring back the trust in people. You see, any peace committee which is formed, which has a chief minister heading or anybody like that, what is the veracity of that peace committee? Nobody will accept it. So let's confront the problem rather than circumvent the problem, because the problem is that in a government we tend to circumvent a problem instead of confront a problem, and moment you confront a problem, you will find solutions. The people of Manipur will give you the solutions. So let's start this peace process. Let's start the restoration of law and order, and let's bring sanity in the minds of the people of Manipur.
Sir, thank you so much for your time, sir. It was really wonderful being in conversation with you. I wish I could. I know you have limited time. I wish I could be in a longer conversation with you, because I know today is Kargil Vijay Divas and you have to go for reclaiming somewhere, sir. So thank you so much for your time, sir. You really threw a
Thank you,
lot of
Mahir.
valuable insights, sir. Jain, sir.
Thank you. It's been a privilege and honor to be on your show, Ali. And and in such a young age, you're doing a wonderful job. I wish you all the very best, Jai.
Thank you, sir. It means a lot, sir. Your encouragement, sir. Thank you, Jain, sir. Just ending the broadcast, sir.